Hi everyone, Linda Heldman here for Canadian Beats. I have with me on the phone today Jody Dunlop, who is a member of Mise, which is a band out of Winnipeg. Welcome, Jody.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Awesome, awesome. So I love the band name, Mise en Scene. I know it's French and it translates into placing on stage or visual theme or telling a story. Tell me how you decided on this as the band name and some history on the band.
Well, when the band originally formed, it was just Steph, the singer, and I'm the drummer. She was studying film and photography in school, and I was studying fine arts, painting and photography in school, and so we were trying to come up with a band name, and we knew that we wanted it to be an art term. Steph wrote a list with about probably 50 different art terms on it, and then Mise en Scene just stuck out to me, so I kind of said, let's do Mise en Scene, and then that's kind of how we chose the name.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, and you're from Winnipeg. What's the music scene like in Winnipeg right now?
Well, I'm actually from a small town called Gimli. It's just north of Winnipeg, but currently living here. The music scene in Winnipeg is one of the most inclusive music scenes I've ever experienced. It isn't really separated by genres like most cities are. It's kind of just, if you're a musician and you're in Winnipeg, you know all the other musicians, whether it's like rap or hip hop or country or folk. Everyone's kind of just going to all the shows and everyone's friends. So it's a very tight-knit kind of inclusive music scene here.
I get that impression just with a lot of the artists and bands that I know from there. It's very very intertwined.
Oh yeah, it really is. Yeah, and many musicians are in multiple bands across the board, different genres. So yeah, it is very everyone knows each other. It's very tight knit.
Great, great. And I am actually familiar with Gimli.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
There's a long story, but I won't go into it. But I do know where Gimli is.
That's awesome.
Now, you just released your second album called Still Life on Fire at the end of June. We had one of our staff do a review on it, and she had nothing but nice things to say. I actually love her one comment right at the beginning. She says, if you're in the middle of compiling the most perfect summer playlist ever, stop now. Right now, stop. So and I've listened to it, and I absolutely love the sound.
Oh, thank you so much.
So can you tell us about a bit about the album and the process in making it?
Yeah, this album was released pretty much 5 years after our first one, because the first one, called Desires to Spare, Steph and I toured pretty heavily on it, so we didn't really get a chance to sit down and work on this one. So eventually when we did, it was kind of a long time coming. We had ideas happening for quite a while, and in order to kind of get the writing process going, because we were so just on the move all the time, we decided to go to the band center and work on the album there and write it there. And so Steph, she went a couple weeks ahead of me, and she started getting some of the lyrics going and some of the ideas going. And then 2 weeks into her session, I came in and we started getting the songs arrangements together and stuff like that. So the theme of the album is a bit of a reflection on the previous 5 years that we had touring our first record, and some of the experiences that we've had being away from home and just meeting people all the time and trying to navigate ourselves in the music industry. So I think when you listen to the record, people can get multiple interpretations of it, but that's kind of where we were coming from when we were working on Still Life on Fire.
Great. You were talking about being on tour and things like that. Now, you've had the opportunity to travel worldwide in the past few years. You've been in Barcelona and Paris. Tell me what performing in other countries is like, and how the fans there embrace your music compared to here in Canada.
Well, touring all of these places has been so fantastic. It seems like everyone in Europe are just music lovers, and they seem to have their shows earlier, and people are willing to take a chance on coming to see a new band. So for us, playing in different cities and meeting different people and experiencing different cultures was super inspirational. And yeah, we're going back in the fall, actually. We're super, super excited. We can't wait. So
wow.
It was a pleasure.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so it kind of leads into my next question. We're
Yeah.
not quite at the halfway point of summer festival season. I know for us here it gets really crazy. Tell me what
Yeah.
tell me what your summer has been like so far and some of the upcoming dates that you're looking forward to performing.
You know what? We've it's kind of funny. Usually our summers are crazy, but we took a bit of a break this summer. Steph's sister got married. She had a bunch of stuff to do, and so we released the record. We're going to be doing a music video in Toronto. We're leaving on Tuesday, so we're doing that. We've got a show in Toronto on Saturday, and then I think pretty chill until the fall when we take off to Europe, and then we're going to do Canada, and then hopefully the States sometime before Christmas. So that's kind of, we're going to have a busy fall. It's going to be opposite. We're going to have a relaxed summer and then a really busy fall.
Good, good, good. Actually, one of my questions was to talk a bit about the video that you're doing in Toronto.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about it?
We were sent a few different treatments from our label, Light Organ, and we decided to go with a bit more playful, fun approach to this one since our last video, Closer, was a bit on the heavier side. This one, it's going to be kind of an interesting take on, it sounds weird to describe, so it's kind of something that you'll have to see, but it's more of a modern day like adaptation of the whole Marie Antoinette story, so I think it'll be really interesting.
Oh, great, great. Now, which
Yeah.
song from the album is going to be the video?
It's going to be for Waster, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, great.
Yeah, so it's the way that the song kind of ties into the concept is some of the lyrics to the song are a bit about just wasting people's time, and the whole Marie Antoinette thing was about like living lavishly and stuff. So they kind of coincide with each other, and I think it'll be interesting to see the way that they fit together in the end and kind of how the director works with it. So yeah.
Great, great. Now, where it seems that the music these days seems to be predominantly dominated by males,
Yeah.
what is it like to be a female in the industry, and how do you feel that Mise en Scene has an impact on the current music that we're listening to?
Well, to be honest, when we were starting out, it was really difficult. That was a whole, like, being a young musician and traveling and touring and going to different venues every night is difficult to begin with. And then being a female and feeling kind of like you have to prove yourself all the time to the sound person or just the promoter or anything, it's exhausting on top of having to go and perform and do all of that stuff. So we used to have a really hard time with it, but we've been doing this for quite a while now, and it's gotten a lot easier. And actually, like, especially in Winnipeg, promoters are making a huge effort to include more females, and I find that it's kind of getting better. So I'm hopeful that things are changing.
I think we need to have some music festivals that are just female artists. I think that would be so great.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice.
If
and then people will complain, why is it all females? Like, well, why is it all male 99% of the time?
Exactly. Well, if I can ever get a female tour together, I'll make sure you girls are on the bill, because that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be
great. Now, I have to say, I really do love your sound, and for me, because I'm an old girl, it's reminiscent of a lot of the 80s, 90s music, like the Go-Go's and the Bangles, and I'd say even a little Joan Jett and Blondie thrown in there. What have some of your musical influences been?
It's kind of weird hearing like Joan Jett and Blondie, because obviously those women are huge like idols for us, but they were never people that we had channeled when creating the record. Steph kind of comes from a folk background, and she's more of a storyteller, so she was kind of listening to a lot of like Leonard Cohen and Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell and music like that, and Fleetwood Mac's one of her favorite bands, so that's kind of where she came from. But then me, I come from a more punk background, so I loved bands like the Buzzcocks and the Addicts and the Clash, and yeah, so for me, I guess my influence is a bit more heavier, and hers is a bit more storyteller. So that's kind of like where when you mesh it all together, it kind of becomes this, I don't know, I guess weird balance between the two.
It's great. It's working. That's the great thing. It is working what the two of you are doing.
Well, and now we've got Corey too, and Corey's our bass player. His musical background, he listens to anything and everything. He plays in like a country band on the side, so he's kind of throwing something else into the mix there, which is really interesting.
Great, great.
Yeah.
And I always admire female drummers. It's just,
Oh,
and any of the drum tracks I'm hearing on the music, it's just like, oh, just incredible.
oh,
So,
thank you so much. Thank you.
yeah. So you are playing this Saturday at the Dakota in Toronto.
Yeah.
You're actually opening for the Matinee, which is a band from BC that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
It's an early show. It runs from 6 to 9. Are there?
Yes, I love the early shows.
Yeah. So are there still tickets available for that? And if so, where can people purchase them?
I'm not totally sure where you can purchase tickets, but I'm sure that there will be some available at the door the night of. So.
Great. Great. Okay, so if you're in the Toronto area and you're listening to this before Friday, Friday? Yeah. Is it Friday? Saturday?
Saturday's
Saturday.
the show, yeah.
Okay, Saturday, July 22nd. Check out Mise en Scene. They're fantastic, and I promise you won't be disappointed. And the Matinee are great too. Awesome.
Yeah.
Jody, thank you so much for your time and talking with me today. Really appreciate it. And
thank you.
hopefully, somewhere, sometime, our paths will cross and I'll get to actually hear the band.
That would be awesome. Yeah, we'll be back, so we'll be coming by. So.
Great. Okay. So we've been speaking with Jody Dunlop from Mise en Scene, and I am Linda Helpman for Canadian Beats.